to that Serbian church.
Oh, really?
So parking was always fun.
Sure. Yeah, I started walking through here now for my facility because I'm not too far off.
Oh, nice.
So I'm getting a little bit more familiar with the area.
Yeah, when you said you were in Logan, we thought it might be kind of convenient.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little less far for us to go, but close to you also.
Sure. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find her working number.
Okay.
What number you set at the moment?
It's currently on 20.
Okay, so we're going to go down to 10. Dogs tend to feel it around 15 or so, depending on connection. Don't be surprised if we're higher today. So if I say go to 15 and you land on 16, 17, 14, that's fine. It's just kind of general range. Because it's going to get annoying as you start working with it, trying to really kind of pinpoint it to the exact number. So as long as you don't end on 35, you're fine.
Okay, did you say 5? Is that what you said?
15.
15,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's typically where dogs start to feel it.
But it said start at 10.
Or did I say 10?
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
And then that bumpy button on the side that says Nick, you're gonna look at her here, and when I say tap, you're gonna tap on that button, okay? Tap, tap, tap. No response. Let's go to 15. Correct. And tap, tap, tap. 20. This is Brianna. She's one of my employees.
Corey, Jen.
Nice to meet you.
Come on, 20. It's like 21 to 29. Okay,
Hey,
21.
tap, tap, tap. Can you see that there's it looks like a little twitch. Tap,
Yes. Yeah.
tap. So it looked like when she moved, it lost connection. You're at 20, right?
Yeah.
25. Tap, tap, there, tap, there. Okay, now we're gonna go back down to 20.
Okay.
Tap. Wait a moment. Let her kind of get this out. Good. Tap. Tap. Let's go to 23. Tap. 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 One second. Tap. 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 Okay, so nothing. Let's go and try. It might be a little loose. Let's try tightening it a notch or two.
She likes to bounce away from her regular collar enough, so I'm not
Now it's, yeah.
surprised that she's like,
We're gonna go down that we've adjusted. Let's go down to 15. Tap. Tap. So she might be feeling it already. Tap. Let's go to 18. And if you would, with that extra slack on the collar, would you bring it inward so it goes into the round buckle? So it kind of makes a little bit of a bow. I'll go the other way. You're gonna go backwards.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there you go, like that. Yeah. Very good. That's good. That'll keep it out from under her chin and stuff. Okay, tap, tap, tap. There we go. All right, so now we have connection. We're at 18. Let's try 20. Tap. We'll go back down to 18. So what we're looking for is a noticeable, like, kind of response, but nothing like over the top. So what we're trying to do here is find what we call our working number. So we have connection, perception, and working number. Connection is just a contraction, but she's not fazed by it, right? So she could be staring at a dog, and you'll see this happening, but she cares nothing about it. Okay? Then we bump it. Then we will get perception, where she'll see the twitch. You'll see the twitch, and she'll kind of like just glance around, like, what was that? And then working number is the twitch, and like, whoa, what was that? Okay? And the reason why we want that working number is that's what progresses things very quickly. Okay? Because when you see the bigger movement, that's concern, and anybody in an uncomfortable situation wants to remove themselves from it. They want to stop, or they want to do something, or escape the situation. So that's what this is, it's the level of discomfort, right? So when we find that working number, and she's like, hey, I don't like this, when we're starting to train her on things, behaviorally, obedience-wise, she's thinking, how do I get this to stop? So once she figures it out, we start to see less and less of that behavior, because she doesn't want the pressure to kick in. Okay? So, question?
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah, I was just thinking that's like her fence number for like applying a call when she charges the fence.
Oh, sure.
Like her
Exactly. And it may be different because, if she's charging at the fence, she's escalated, she's aroused, adrenalized, and all that stuff, that you may be at a higher number. Whereas when she's in a more passive state, you may be at a lower number. So that brings up the rule of never get married to a number. That number may change according to the context, the environment, her emotional states, and all these things. That's why I teach my clients to recognize the situation in their dog and just adjust what's going on. Okay? So we'll go ahead and we'll work right here. You might have to go point it this way so you're not picking up the traffic, so you point it straight that way.
Yeah. So like,
yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right, who's going to go first?
Sure.
So I'm going to coach through everything. It's a very simple exercise. Will also be your eyes in case we see dogs or something. We teach heel on the left. If you're right-handed, it's easiest to teach on the left. If you're left-handed, it works on the left-handed.
If you're left-handed, get used to it.
Suck it, honey.
No, are you left-handed?
He's left-handed.
Right heel on the left.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
So left is traditional, but it's also just easiest. So the general things that I want you to note for now is whenever Dinah gets ahead of you, you're going to be making a 180 turn to your immediate right like this. Turning to your immediate right like this, passes just like that. Okay? Just be making these turns, and ideally you want to make them as fluid as possible and keep your movement like this if you have to turn, because a lot of people will stop and then turn and then move, and you want to keep that momentum. Okay. As you're doing this, you'll be hearing me say tap. Okay, and when I say tap, it would be press your button. So if I go tap, 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 that would be a rhythm. If I say tap, 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 that would be a rhythm. Or I go tap, 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 tap. Okay, so that's as fast as you can. So when you're turning, you'll hear me say tap, 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 and what we're trying to achieve is Dinah coming to our left side, and then you'll continue going. She's going to pass. Tap, 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 tap. Here she is. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, we're going to complete that process. It's very simple. It's just going to look a little crazy for a bit, okay? That's why having that working number is important. Because you'll be doing this all day in that direction, okay? We have the immediate 180 turns to the right whenever I say the word turn. Tap. And then I might have you address your number as well. So if I say 23, you land on 24, it's fine. Otherwise, again, you'll be there all day. Questions so far? Not yet. So I don't use any words in the beginning because since we're so sound-based, we tend to resort to words to control things more often than not, that you'll use the remote left. So what I've learned is just remove the word and it gives you no choice but to use the remote. And once we see you get the behavior, which usually takes about a week, then we start to label. So I'm usually behind a week or so whenever we're doing things. So I want to teach the behavior first, get as close to 100 as possible, and then we'll title it. Okay? In terms of slack, go ahead and bring Dinah over here. And just relax your arms. That looks pretty good. Okay? So I'm going to have you start. And you're going to go ahead and just make it right. And turn you up and tap forward. And relax your arm. Turn, tap, tap, turn, tap, tap forward. Turn, tap. And keep that arm relaxed. That left arm. Turn, tap, tap, tap. I know. Tap, tap. This is like the hardest spot. Forward, tap. Keep on the sidewalk. Turn, tap. Relax. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. What's your number? Let's go 21. 21, yeah.
Okay.
And turn, tap. Forward, good. Turn, tap. Tap. Turn, tap. Let's go to 24.
Okay, 24.
And turn, tap. Good, relax. Turn, tap. Turn, tap, tap. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. Let's go to 24. 27. Good, turn, tap. Forward, good. Turn forward, tap. You got it. Relax that arm. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Forward, tap. Turn, tap, tap. Oh, here. When that happens,
Yeah.
you're gonna pull back and tap, okay?
Yeah.
Turn, tap, tap, tap. Keep forward.
Off.
Now turn.
And I
Okay.
said, well, he was like, oh, we did, and I waited to the next day.
Turn, tap,
Tap,
tap, tap. Keep forward,
Off.
keep forward, keep forward.
Yeah. But it was
Turn.
nice that he reached over.
Tap.
I think it's a great guy.
Turn, tap.
That's the
That
best part
was-
about it. It's hard to have like virtual people.
I know.
Yeah. Where otherwise it's
Keep forward, tap. Turn, tap. Let's go to 30. Tap. Relax. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. 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 Keep forward. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. Let's go to 33. And I'm gonna have you walk more this way.
Yeah.
Not normal, by the way.
What I'm doing to me. Oh my God, that's
Okay, and relax. And let me have you go a little bit more this way before you start the process, okay? Keep going, ignore this for now. Ignore. Now turn. Tap forward. Turn. Tap. Pull to your left, keep forward, tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Keep forward, tap. Keep forward, tap. You got it. Pull to your left. There you go. Forward, tap. Good. Keep moving. Turn.
It's hard because
Pull to your left. Keep forward, tap. Good. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. You got it. Good. Turn. Tap. Keep forward. Keep forward. Better.
David,
Keep forward.
this girl probably flies around here looking at me.
Now turn.
oh my God.
It's
Turn.
pretty.
Tap. Good. Keep forward.
Off.
Forward.
Off. Off.
Turn. Tap.
I
don't know, that might have.
think it was one of the times this time.
Oh, actually, no. It wasn't.
You're doing good. I can already see little changes,
Yeah.
right? Now give a little bit of slack here. Okay, good. So when she goes to your right, you're doing good. You're keeping your momentum. And then you may have to like real quick shorten to give you more immediate leverage. To tap to bring her over, then we immediately relax, okay? Now with the jumping, you were good. You powered through it because she's getting frustrated.
Yeah.
You have to keep your movement to direct her on this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Most people stop. So when they stop, the dog just keeps jumping and they're not learning what to do instead. So right there, I wasn't having you tap. I was just having her redirect. We're going to see how she does with that. If she doesn't start to pick up the concept of, oh, just walk right here, we're going to keep moving and potentially pull and tap or kind of pull her aside to correct the jumping itself. Okay?
I was unconsciously using her off command. She knows off to stop jumping.
Sure.
But I probably shouldn't say that.
Right now it's all tap because she's so frustrated.
Yeah.
She's not getting the concept. Okay?
Yeah.
The other thing we're going to do is we're going to stop doing this because this is actually reinforcing all the emotional stuff. Okay? Because she's going, Dad, right? And I understand what you're doing because you're trying to console her. But whenever you touch, you're reinforcing the state of mind. So if she's like, this is stressing me out, you're saying, yes, this should stress you out. When you're indifferent, you're saying, I know it's stressful, but this is life, okay? She'll get over it, okay? When she's doing a good job, by all means, feel free to praise, right, when we get to that point. But behaviorally, this keeps her in that zone of not getting better. Okay, and everybody does it. Don't worry about it. Everybody does it. I get it. As we go along, it's going to make more sense. Okay. Now I'm going to have you move to your, make a turn to your right, forward, tap.
Oh, right.
You can shorten it a little bit.
Been trying
That's
to
good.
do
Forward, tap. Let's go down to 34.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have you slow it down a bit. Okay? Go ahead. Yep, forward. And now back on the sidewalk. And turn. Yeah. Forward tap. You got it. Forward tap. You got it. Good. Turn. And slow down a little. Keep that momentum. Now turn. Tap. Good. Forward. Now turn. Tap. Move. Turn. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. Slow down a little more. Turn. Tap. Go to your left. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. To your side. Turn. Tap. You got it. Good job. Keep forward. Now turn. Pull off the tap. She jumps now. Okay.
Say it
Turn.
again.
When she jumps forward, she's going to pull away and tap as you're moving. Okay. Turn. Tap. Good. Slow turn. Better. Turn. Tap. Slow walk. Right. Now turn. Good. Now relax. Turn. Tap. Good. Slow turn.
Yeah.
Tap. Good. Forward. Tap. Forward. Tap. Forward. Tap. Forward. Good. Go to your left. Tap. Okay. Do what you gotta do. You got it.
Okay.
Now, relax. Wait a moment. Good. Turn. Tap. You got it. Yeah. Slow turn. Good. Keep moving forward. Turn. Tap. Good. Go to your left. Tap. You got it. Good move. Slow turn. Now here as you're moving, on your side, tap, get her off. There you go. Tap, get her off. Good. Now turn, tap. Good. Slow turn. Relax. Slow turn. Tap. Slow turn. Relax your arm. Forward, you got it. Good job. Keep forward. Now turn. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Good job. Turn. Tap. Good. Keep straight. Pull to your side. You got it. Good job. Keep forward. Good. Now relax. There you go. Good. Turn. Tap. Keep forward. Now pull. Yep. Good. Now turn. Relax. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. Good. Yep. Tap off. Good. Tap off. Good. Turn. Okay. You got it. Good job. Turn. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Good.
You know, like it's
To your left. Good. Keep forward. Tap. That's there. Good. Turn. Tap. Good.
Sorry, ladies.
Now go from here. Let's give that a break. Okay, go ahead and let your leash go slack so your fingers get some blood flow. All right, cool. Did you see that ending?
Yes.
Can you see the breakthrough there?
Yes.
Okay. So what was happening was she's getting very frustrated because of stimulation, contraction. You have to work through that. So what happens is she goes, discipline, right? I can't handle it, so we get a lot of that jumping. And I said, we're gonna see if she just works through it. She didn't work through it. So then we added consequence for the jumping. And I don't know if you noticed, but as soon as you put consequence for the jumping, what happened?
Yeah. She was amazing. I mean,
She was
that,
walking really well.
Yeah, that one turn where she just went, and I was like, oh my god.
Yes,
It's
and
working.
coincidentally, it was after you addressed the jumping, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is that's all part of resistance. She's going, don't want to do this. It's normal, okay? But it's like it's like if you're talking to somebody, like persuasion, right? If someone doesn't want to listen, you can talk all you want, it's not going to work, right? But you can't make them do that. That's a personal decision. It's the same thing. You're fine. It's the same thing for dogs, okay? Is if she's stuck in the point of no, not going to do this, you're not getting anywhere, right? Now, in some cases, the frustration just goes away, and the dog will just start accepting the information, and then I'll talk about that in a second. In some cases, like here, she just kept jumping and jumping and jumping. And go, okay, gave you an opportunity. Now we're going to address the jumping. And as soon as you address it, within 2 to 3 jumps, all of a sudden, there she is, walking beside you. Because now the brain is taking in information. Okay? What is the information?
There's jumping. There's nothing else for her to do.
Correct, right? That's one aspect of it. But what are we trying to teach her? To what?
And there's a consequence to anything but being next to her.
Exactly. Like this is what we're trying to achieve here, right? Now, I'm going to break down how this works. Most people, when they try to teach a dog to heel, they let the dog cool. They'll say no. Apply consequence here, right? The dog jumps back and they'll say heel, and they'll keep moving. The dog goes and they punish it. Heel, right? Dogs don't get it because to them, being ahead or pulling is not wrong. It's not bad. It's only bad because it annoys the human. Okay? They're not supposed to be on a leash. Plus, it requires her to first understand that this is wrong, which dogs don't have right and wrong, and then to understand what heel means by definition. Okay, I don't teach that way because dogs don't learn that. Instead, we make it simple. We relax, we give slack so she can make mistakes. She goes, and we turn, and now you're tapping. So the conversation is for Dinah, she feels this. What is this? I don't like it. She turns around. Mom's going that way. She catches up. It disappears. But she's not trained yet. She goes. tapping. Now mom's going that way. Catches up. It goes. So for her, she starts to learn, oh, every time I feel this, mom's going the other way. Okay? But because it's uncomfortable or it's discomfort or what have you, she doesn't like it, she gets frustrated. What is this thing? Right? Which is why we start with this exercise. Dogs aren't meant to have their muscles contracted. Okay? So then I see, will the dog ride it out and kind of resolve it themselves? Or no, she didn't. So then when she jumped, it was, oh, I don't like that. What happens when I put my paws on the ground? Oh, it goes away. So we're applying it for the stuff that we don't want, but then we're showing her what we do want. Okay, the main one is the heel. Don't go that way, I'm going this way. Don't go that way, because now I'm going this way. And eventually, once you cut through resistance, the brain starts to accept the information and go, oh, if I'm just right here next to mom, nothing happens. If I'm not jumping at mom and I have my paws right here, nothing happens. That's how dogs learn. Okay? And that's why I find that working number was so important. And we adjusted it, right? It was low and then we worked our way up. And what we ended up doing now is going to go back down. What are we at now?
We were at 33.
We're going to go down to 18. Okay? The reason why we're going down to 18 is now she's gotten some familiarity with the exercise. Okay? You guys play instruments at all? Or anything?
Oh, for a while.
No? Okay. Well, I play guitar, and one of the things my teacher said was, don't sit for 8 hours straight and play guitar. He said, do it in smaller chunks, because your brain processes what you did for, like, let's say 15 minutes 3 times a day. In between those 15 minutes, your brain is going through all that stuff, right? And I didn't listen. I did it 8 hours a day. But fast forward a few years, I didn't touch guitar for a while, and then I went back to it one day, and I was actually better than I was before, because like my brain processed all that stuff, right? So for her, literally right now, she is processing everything that just happened. So now she's learning that there's this thing here, and it's communicating that if we just hop back in at 36 or 33, we might get a big pop, because now she's more cognizant of this thing. So we reset it in the beginning to 18 or whatever, and then we try again, and we'll read it and go like, yeah, 18, now she's more receptive to it, or it's no, we'll keep bumping it, and then we do like 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So we're doing that gradual increase, so it's not like a shock to the system of like, 55 type of thing, because I need her to, yes, worry about it, but I also need her to be calm enough to process what we're trying to teach her. Okay, does this all make sense so far?
Yeah.
Questions?
No, I think ultimately what you're trying to teach her is that just kind of being with you all the time is the best way to be.
Right.
Yeah, this particular pocket, right? Now the reason why we're doing this first is this is the foundation. As you saw, there was quite a bit of like craziness going on, right? It's teaching you how all this works. When we dial up, how to know we dial up, how to know when it's too much. It's also teaching her in a very non-confrontational manner about discipline.
Yeah.
So dogs bite each other, right? So this discomfort to her is discipline the way we're applying it. But typically when people think about discipline, they think about like punishment, they think about yelling, like it's very confrontational. It's actually not when we're doing remote, because the dog doesn't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was just thinking that too, is that like one of the things that has made me feel so guilty is when she's been out of control and then I get mad or like I like grab her collar or whatever and it's coming from me and I don't
Right.
like the association of like, I mean, it's not wrong to know that the person in charge, could have a consequence, but I don't like that feeling.
Sure,
Like,
and there's, because there's like people who are non-confrontational, like those are confrontational. Now, there's a benefit to confrontation when you know how to do it correctly.
Yeah.
Because now the respect factor is this, not this. That's the one drawback to remote, is that it's not tied to you,
Yeah.
it's tied to the remote, right? So there's pros and cons, we'll talk about that as we go along. But right now, when we do this, like I have a handful of cases that came in and they're like seemingly crazy. We literally did one class of this and the dog went 80.
Yeah.
Like from one class to the next, I was like, this is how we hope it works. It doesn't always work that way. So then we have to start changing the approach to be more so direct. Like let's say, for instance, territorial in the yard, right? This has nothing to do with the fence. So that's going to be more so consequence for the behavior itself. But I like earlier with the reactivity that we saw, with the dogs passing and stuff, you should start to see that dip, because that's related to this. Because before she was just like, what's going on here? She was too stimulated. So then when you add in the stressor, she very quickly escalates. When you have, I don't know if you can see here, she's actually a bit more passive. Just kind of sit there and like observing as opposed to like just kind of vigilant what's going on here. That's where a lot of the reactivity comes from. So we're going to do another little run through and then we're going to swap handlers. Okay. So go ahead and just bring her to the sidewalk here. All right. And go ahead and right turn and pull to your left cap. And relax. Turn forward. Sorry. Keep forward. You're good. Relax. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. 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 Yes, that's true. Okay, what else? How was the walk that way?
Okay.
Well, how's the walk this way?
Not great.
Why?
Just point towards that.
Yes. Okay, that's attachment. Okay, so like earlier when we mentioned about this, that's part of that. It's normal. Okay, so if we know going that way is not a problem, what does that tell us?
She's fine to go with me. When she sees him, it's safety, comfort, whatever.
Yeah.
This is gonna stop.
So what do you think you're gonna do?
Going away? No.
That's the
Keep
easy
coming back.
part.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, right? We're gonna start coming this way now.
Okay.
So now what we need to do is moving away. This is super common. Moving away was much easier. There's a couple of jumps, but for the most part, boom, right there.
Yeah.
Returning right away, right? So we need to override the attachment. So it doesn't matter where you're going.
Yeah.
She's going, this is more important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is one of the things that she does do. When we walk around the neighborhood, even if it's been real good and not high stim or anything, as soon as she feels like we're heading home, boom.
Yes. It's going to be the
yeah.
same exact exercise.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go to 21. And what we're going to do is once you turn to come this way, I don't know if you noticed, but I was saying slow turn on some of those.
By the time I get down there, it's hard to hear.
It's hard. Okay, I'll walk along there. So on some of them, I was saying slow turn because I could see she was walking with you.
Yeah.
So the slow turn was to give her the opportunity to keep following.
Yeah.
But then this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we really want to focus coming this way. If you get past her that way, then you want to focus on coming over this way because she's going to have that problem. Is we know this is going to be fine. You'd already turned because you don't want to get too far away. And right here, this is going to help. Tap, 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 right? And immediately, you're going to want to turn, again, this way. We're going to keep repeating that. Because I know going that way is no problem. So eventually, you should be able to just go back and forth. Corey, right here, no issues. Okay? So, but we just got to find that number that's going to get her to do so. Okay? So go ahead and forward here. And go ahead and get ready to turn. Right? Turn. There it is. Tap, turn, tap. Good. Now slower, walk slower. Now turn. A little bit better. There you go. Now relax your arm. Okay? One, keep forward. Now turn, tap. Right? Turn, tap. Slower, turn. Walk slower. There you go, right there. That's a good pace. Better. Now turn, tap. Good. Turn, tap. And accept this. This is good. Forward, tap. Good. Slow turn. Good. Turn. Forward. Oh, look at that. Turn. Tap. Good. Relax. Relax his arms. There you go. Look at that. Forward. You got it. Now slow turn. Good. Good. Now I'm going to have you walk a little slower here. Now slow turn. Okay, now walk slow. Slower. Slower. Turn. Cap. Good. Forward, cap, forward, cap, forward. Good. Relax that arm. Slow turn again. Cap. And let's go to your 18, right?
21.
21, let's go 24. Turn. Cap. Good. Keep forward. Yeah, relax that arm. Slow turn. Good. Now forward. Now slow walk here. Yeah, slower. Stop. You can stop and relax. There you go. See that difference?
It's not like freeze. I can just stop like a normal person.
Yeah. You see that difference? Okay.
That's incredible.
So, this is the power of pressure when applied correctly. So that first run was pretty stressful. It was all over the place. And as soon as I saw the cracks, like now she's getting it, we stopped, we have a conversation, I let her process, we lowered it, right? Because I was talking about how she become more aware of it. We go back, and we right off the first turn, when she went towards Corey, you turn cap, and then you were able on the next. I was expecting that to be a struggle.
Yeah.
So that was very quick. Okay?
Yeah.
That makes our life easier. And you're able to do what I was mentioning earlier. Okay, because what you said was, look, yes, he's there, but your job is to be here. That was it. Okay. Having you walk more slowly was to force her to really be mindful. Okay. Are you a fast walker?
Yeah.
You are.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dinah's for Dinah, I'm gonna have you guys walk slower. Okay. Because there's some things that we're gonna add in that are gonna become more difficult, and it's much easier if you don't have to like snail slow, but at least cut that speed down so that because it's so quick that she's not gonna catch your movement whenever you change.
Yeah.
Okay. Slower speed allows her to kind of process what's going on. So that's why now that you have attention, I was going slow, slow turn, slower, slower, stop, right? Was because now she's being mindful of you, that she's able to stop with you when you did come to it, like right now, right? You're boom. And that's how it's supposed to be, except without her face. There you go. This is how heel is supposed to look, okay? This is just the foundation of it, okay? Question so far?
I think she's acting more like our old dog.
She's acting better than our old dog, to be honest.
This sort of level of like calm,
Yeah.
at least with me.
Yeah.
Discipline, okay, settles dogs when done correctly.
Yeah.
People,
I was going to say, and we mentioned this before, but he, at our last dog for 2 years before we met,
sure,
and so I never saw like how she was puppy or anything like that, and he did a great job training her. And similar, she was a border collie, she's half border. And just that when she was getting insane and I said, I don't know what to do, and he said, I don't either, we're just like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
right.
That's just a comment, not a question.
No, you're fine. This is why I just do e-collar.
Yeah?
Everybody looks at it as the last resort. Oh my God, right? And I go, it's the first resort. It's so easy. Like, I didn't touch your dog right now, and you went from craziness to a passive dog that's paying attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
Just
and I think we said on the Zoom call too, like people kept saying, like, oh, it's all positive reinforcement. I'm like, but what if she's not doing anything positive?
right.
There's nothing to reinforce.
It's great for the things you want to see again, but it's terrible for the things you don't want to see again. And funny enough, in the child raising world, there's a very similar kind of back and forth going on between positive punishment and positive reinforcement. And it's really a balance of the two.
Yeah.
I'm not against positive reinforcement.
No, she's
It's
got
just-
that down. She does stuff for a treat. Like that kind of stuff, she's great with the positive. But
Right.
there's nothing good in charging the fence. So like
Yeah, unless you want like a guard dog, like that's in your sense, like you're like, no, we don't want that, we want to stop it, right? So I'm having you do a little more here, and then we're gonna swap hands, okay? Whenever you're ready, look forward. Yep, good. Tap forward, tap forward, tap forward. You got it. Good job. Keep forward. Good. Yeah, relax that arm. Forward tap. You got it. Move your left. Good. Forward tap. Good. Good turn. Good turn. Tap. Good. Turn again. You're at 21? Let's go 27. Okay, forward. Turn. Yep. Good. Slow turn. Keep forward, cross that arm. Keep forward, keep forward. Got it, got it. Turn. Yep. Good. Slow walk here. Good. Keep forward. Slow. Forward tap. Tap forward here. Turn. Tap. Relax that arm. Slow turn. Forward. Slower. And stop. Good. All right. So here, there's some connection stuff because I can see she wasn't feeling it. We're going to go into swaps before he can get his practice in. On that return, do you know why that was harder?
I don't know. She was going back to old kind of habits. I'm not sure.
Further away.
Oh.
Right. So like right here within this window of Corey, it was easier. Then once you went out that window, she started struggling a bit. So what you can do for this week to work on that is on that walk home. So let's say you're going to do a 30-minute session. I spend 10 minutes going away from home. The last 20 minutes going back home. Okay, because you're going to be doing a lot of turning. Now this exercise is super simple. I can tell you she's already got a concept. Okay. What we have to work on home is what number is going to make her override the want or desire to go home such intensity.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where the increasing every so many turns comes into play. As a general rule of thumb, I have my 3 correction rule. So, when I'm trying to find the working number, I'll be 10, tap, 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 no response, bump it. 15, tap, 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 no response, bump it. 20, tap, 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 and I repeat until I get the reaction that I want. So the 3 taps is to see, are we getting the working number? Once we feel like we've got it, then I have my 3 correction rule. So if I'm heading home and she's forging, you're okay. It's turn, tap, turn, tap, turn, tap. No response, bump it. Turn, tap, turn, tap, turn, tap, no response, bump it. And you will find, once you hit that right number, all of a sudden you're able to go feet, blocks, without having to turn again. Does that make sense? So that's my general structure, okay? So this way you're not, people usually struggle with, how do I know to go higher? And I go, if you don't get a change within either 3 taps or 3 corrections, you bump it. A dog or size, I go in jumps of 3 to 5, okay? And then it may change each day, but you'll start to recognize kind of ranges where you'll say like on the walk away, she's great on 21. On the walk back, we're at 45. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's the example, right? So in the beginning, when you're learning this, when you go out, it's easiest if you let her have a potty break first.
Yeah.
Then start your process, finding the number first, and then starting the walk. Don't start the walk thinking, well, yesterday 23 was the perfect number, so I'm going to be at 23, because it depends on contact. Okay, so the one drawback to e-collar and dogs with longer fur is contact. Okay, once you get used to it, you don't even think about it. You'll put it on, you'll be able to establish that no problem. But in the beginning, you'll need like kind of that foundation in order to get to the point. Okay, questions?
Yeah, so she's really inconsistent with her enthusiasm for walking away from the house. Okay, some days she's great, she'll want to go for a walk. Other times she won't even want to go for a walk. At night, depending on the noise, temperature. So are we going to use this? Should we have like a set, we're going to go this distance, and then use it as she resists to try to get back to the house the whole time?
You would use it to, like, let's say for instance, leaving the house, she doesn't want to leave the block like you said. You can use this to make it. Because remember earlier, she would go like this, and I was just like, forward tap. And then she would pop forward. Because the brain is going in resistance, and it's going, don't want to go that way. And you're saying, well, you have to.
Yeah.
Goes, okay. And she goes along when we're at the right number. So, once she's done with her potty break, you decide what the walk is, right? And if the walk is, we're going to walk for 1 mile with this and this structure, so on and so forth, then you make that happen. Right? If she gives you resistance or gives you craziness, that's where training comes into right, right? And the more you override that stuff, the less it happens. Because she's going, oh, pointless now.
So she's going on the walk. So I try to do by making her keep up with me. She doesn't want to go. Sure, I can't always agree.
This allows you to break it. Because this e-collar is the only tool, in my opinion, that can make a dog make a decision. That's the most important part of this, is she's making the decision.
Yeah.
Because you can drag her along all you want, but if those paws are going no, the brain is saying no, right? But here, when you attack her, like she was, like when she's going to before you tap her, she's okay, I'm going to decide not to do that. When she was stopping me going, don't want to do this, and you tap, she said, okay, I guess I'm going along then, right? You're manipulating her, but she thinks she's making a decision, and that's actually part of why this is so effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the reason we want to do this, because I don't like to drag her. Like,
Yeah,
I know dragging her is not going to make her do it.
No, you'll find as you do this more, okay, that you're just going to get normal walks.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to just, once we establish we're dealing with this, like, all right, cool, we're walking, and I can enjoy a walk with my dog. I don't have to worry about reactivity. I don't have to worry about resistance. I don't have to worry about dragging.
I walked it today for the first time in a couple of weeks because I don't like it.
Uh-huh.
And I want to like it.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of my clients are like that because their dog has issues, so they don't do much with them. But then once they start to make progress, I'm like, Jesse, I walked my dog for 5 miles. My dog was in the restaurant patio. My dog's in the park where I would never take him off the leash. You know, so that's all I'm doing. I don't want to make a robot. She's still going to be Dinah. She's going to be herself, but she's going to stop a lot of those bad things, or bad things that we don't want, and then you're going to have control as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and swap handles here. And then what's your number now?
27.
Let's go ahead and go back down to, let's go down to 21. And it's going to be the same rule. So whenever I say turn, you're going to make that 180 turn to your right. That's good. And then just now that she's calm, go ahead and bring the leash that's on the inside here. Okay. Go ahead and give us a little bit of slack. And now, okay, cool. So come around here, Jess. I can show you this. So you see the leash here? You see where there was a little bit of a jag. Go ahead and tap and stand next to Dinah, like that. So if you look at the leash, you see that little J there?
Yeah.
The bottom of that loop, you see how it's next to her armpit?
Yep.
That's the perfect length.
Great.
Okay, so it's long enough that she has the ability to get distance and make mistakes, but not too long that she's going to step over it. It's going to get caught up in her armpits and stuff.
Okay.
So whenever I start to walk, I'll get the dog stationary, get my length going, and then I get going. Okay? So go ahead and move to your right here, Corey, and tap. Turn, tap. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Relax, good. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. Good. Okay. Let's go 24. Good turn. Tap. Good. And relax. Good. Turn. Tap. 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 Good. Tap. Turn, tap. Turn again. Yep. Forward, keep forward, keep forward. Turn, tap. Good. Turn, keep forward. Let's go to 27. Turn, tap, 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 good. Tap forward, tap forward, tap forward, tap, tap, good. Forward, tap, 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 good. to your left cat. Good. Let's go to 30. I'll do more like to make Corey work. A turn, tap, good move, good. Forward tap, good. Very good. See how she goes to the left side? Good. Slow turn. And her. See what happens here. She's slowing down a bit. Now turn, tap, 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 good. Slow turn. Forward tap, good. Tap, turn, tap, good. Turn again, tap, good. Keep going. There it is. That's better. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Turn, tap, tap. Good. You're at 30? Yes. Forward tap, tap, tap. Let's go to 33. Good, just forward. Yep. Tap. Good, keep forward, tap. Tap forward, tap forward. Turn, tap. Relax, good. Turn, tap, 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 tap. Better, good. Slow turn. Let's go 56. Forward, good. Turn, tap, tap, forward, good. There you go, keep forward, good job. Left your arm, good. Good. Turn, tap, tap, good. Turn, tap, good. Full turn. 39. Turn, tap. Full turn. Turn, tap, tap. Turn, tap, 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 tap. It's a little bit better. Let's go to 42. And turn, tap, tap. Keep forward, good move, good job. Relax your arm, good job. Slow turn. Turn, tap. Good. Slow turn. Now walk slow here. Slower. Turn, tap. Then pick up your pace. Good. Yep. Now slow turn. And let the hand tap. Don't pull away and tap. Now slow walk. And go stop. Can you see the difference coming back this way at that 42 from where you were earlier? You're able to come more, like I can see where she's being more mindful on the return. On the others, you would turn and within a second, she was already getting ahead of you. And then once you hit 42, there was more of a delay before that speed up happened. Okay? So earlier we were doing good at 21, but now we're at 22.
Plus, I noticed that I was kind of seeing if she was gonna like make eye contact with me, and at the higher level, she stopped looking at me and kept looking up at him.
Yes.
Like, oh him, like I need to look at him.
Yes.
As opposed to
Yes, because right now, because we swapped handlers, when she's not next to Corey's side, the collar's going up. So now she has to disengage and engage with him.
yes.
In terms of why the number's higher, a couple of reasons. One, possibly contact is shifted around, and I'm gonna send you some videos that'll show you proper fitting and all that stuff. 2, body heat. Okay, so even though we're in the shade, for her, it can be fairly warm.
Yeah.
Is that I've come to learn that when a dog is overheated, to not only cut over like the environment, you also have to cut through the body heat. Is you may be at a higher number. So like I had a golden retriever that I was working with once, and I was at 100. I was maxed out on that particular collar, and it was a really hot day in Miami. We stepped aside in the shade for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I started walking, and I forgot to turn it down, and I tapped them, and pop! Right now, like, oh, and I turned it back down again because he had cooled off. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So what tells me what's the appropriate number is Dinah, because we know what she's capable of. We know exactly how well she can walk next to you. It's just what number is that going to be? Okay, so. In terms of, I'm gonna have one before we do one more run. But in terms of homework, this is simply that's it for this week. Okay, don't use this for anything that we've not covered yet. Okay, just keep it simple on the leash walking. Dogs learn better in smaller chunks. So like let's say you did 2 15-minute walks and you did 2 15-minute walks, that would be great. Okay, in the beginning. If all you have is 1 solid hour to like walk with her, then that's fine. But if it's 1 solid hour every day, it's going to take a little bit longer before she processes it, okay? If you, like let's say, on all your walks, you're doing 100 turns, right? We don't want 100 turns. We should see progress. So what does that tell me? Higher number. I start to play with it, right? So let's say we go from 21 and I bump it to like 27, and all of a sudden 100 turns becomes 50 turns. Much better, but still 50 turns. Then they go to 33 or 30 or whatever. Then it becomes from 50 turns to 25 turns, or still 25 turns. You're just gradually tweaking that number until you go, wow, on 42, I did 1 turn the entire day. And then the next day, I won't be right at 42, I might try 35, right? Because you've done so many reps of it. But you've done so many reps of it that I go just underneath that number, so I get there faster. Okay? Because if you always go from 5 to 42 and it takes you 20 minutes to do so, she will take that time to do whatever she wants. Okay? Because before you break the distraction or the mental state, she'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll gamble the hits and take them until you hit that number. Okay? So then once you find that magic number, you're like, wow, for the most part, 42, it's more and more gap between correctional turns, then chances are you're either at the number or you're very close to it. Okay? This turning process, as you saw, is becoming less and less, and it should become even more, it should decline even more as you progress with her.
Yeah.
Okay? You just have to find that right number in your particular setting.
Yeah. That first pass when we went by and she did pull towards him, it was like a dream. It was like,
I saw you, you're like, oh my god. Yes, you're like, it's possible,
yeah.
Right? So, if you want to give her a potty break, mid-walk or end-of-walk or whatever, we don't have an on word, we don't say heel. The tapping will trigger Dinah to go into that mode, okay? She doesn't, like dogs don't know what heel means. They just associate what to do, okay? So the tap, she's going to feel it, go, oh, that's when I do this. And actually, Corey, when you first took her, remember, I tapped her, and she went from his right side over to his left side, and I said, boom, now that she just went to his left side.
Yeah.
That's her thinking, when I feel this is where I want to be. So that's what's going to trigger everything. So then if you decide, I'm going to give you a potty break, you simply come to a stop. She should be next to you. I don't need perfect right now, okay? And then I'm going to say the word, I say break. I don't know if you guys want to release words yourself. Like free, okay?
You say okay, I think.
Okay.
It is to say like, okay, run up the stairs, okay,
Sure. So if okay is your release, okay means you're off the clock.
Okay.
That's when she can pee, poop, roll around, sniff the ground, do her doggy thing. So there's an on and off switch. Currently, the on switch is that tap. If you feel that contraction, we're working now. Okay. So think of obedience as working. Right now, we're on the clock. 3 is filming. I'm educating you. I'm not drinking a beer. I'm not eating food or anything like that. I'm working for you, right? So when you cue her into the tap to start the process, she's in that working mode. She's in that working mode that she would need permission to do her usual routine. Okay? Now let's say she stops to pee on something. Most people go like, oh, like I want the dog to pee because that's what the walk is for. But it's disobedience. Okay? And dogs aren't logical. Like, we're forgiving this because I want to use the bathroom. You don't have to take it to the house. But for her, she thinks, oh, I know that this contraction meant that I was supposed to do this, but then I decided to do this, and it wasn't a problem. So she goes from peeing whenever she wants, to pooping whenever she wants, to barking whenever she wants, to lunging whenever she wants, to doing whatever she wants.
She holds herself 12 hours overnight, so I know she doesn't have to go. The
Right.
second she pulls something.
So you're just putting it on your terms. That's why I suggest start off with the potty break, get it out the system.
Yeah.
Do your walk. If you want to put a break in the middle, that's perfectly fine. I just want it to be on the human first.
Yeah.
Okay. With her going to her right side, we're not allowing that. It's always to the left side. Okay. Questions so far?
So the routine is after letting her out peeing, the walks are using this to trying to do the whole walk with her right here, and every time she does not adhere to this, correct.
And yeah, you would turn and tap. Correct.
Okay, turn and.
Whenever Dinah passes you, you will forever, when possible, turn and tap. Okay. Now let's say there's people behind you and you can't turn. In that moment, you can give a tap to slow her down, but it's not the best approach. Okay. So like my dogs, I may have to turn like once in a blue moon, but in the beginning when I was training them, it was a lot. I was so consistent with it that now, like, I can't remember the last time I turned and tapped to correct them, right? So
anytime she's not right here, so she tries to pull into somebody's yard, turn and tap.
yeah. So if she goes sideways, you can also keep straight because you're just trying to create a gap for her to close in on. But if she passes you, it will always be that turn and tap when you can do so. Okay? Because there were some times when you were walking and I would say just keep it forward and tap because she wasn't getting ahead, she was just going to the side.
Yeah.
If she's lagging, and if it's a really hot day and she's like, right, like you can forgive it. I don't want ahead. Okay, behind or a little behind is fine. If it's like the end of a long 1 hour walk, she's probably gonna be a little further. Again, that's fine because she's so hot. You can tap her on 127, she'll jump up and lag again because they're so hot. Okay, so, but the passing is definitely an issue. Not even an inch. Okay, dogs will learn to play with that little bit of leeway if it goes uncorrected. So the earlier you can catch it with that forging, the tighter the obedience is, the more reliable it is in the long run. People tend to judge leash walking by, oh, my dog doesn't pull that much anymore. And I go, it's not about not pulling. Heel is a very strict command. Right shoulder to left leg. When I stop, you stop and you put your butt down. Okay, when we teach it. It's very specific. It's not like heel, like I'll see people walking and go heel and the dog will slow down. And they speed up and they go heel, and the dog slows down, heel, and it's just constant. I'm like, no, it's not how it works. It doesn't mean slow down. It means boom, right here, okay? And it's perfectly teachable. It just requires this process in the beginning. Other questions? All right, we're gonna do one more quick run here. What's our number at? We're at 42, right?
42.
Let's go ahead and dip it down. We'll go down to 32. Yeah, I see it here. Good. And then, whenever you're ready, forward. Yep, forward. Tap. 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 There she goes. And relax that arm. Good. Turn. Tap. Scoot forward. Go to pick up your pace a little. And you're going to slow down but keep walking. Turn, tap. There you go, forward. Forward. Yeah. I'm letting this slide for now, but she's still learning. Yeah, you see how she like slowed a bit, right? Now you're at pace. Go to speed up. Go to turn, tap. Now slow. Good. Now slow turn. Good. Now pick up your pace. Slow again. right? Keep forward. Yep, walk through. Turn, tap, good. Now slow walk. Keep forward. Yep, bump. Tap, P2 tap. Good, pivot. There you go. That's good. Yep. Tap. Slow turn. Slower. Stop. Okay, so here we lost her at the end. But you could see where she was matching her pace, right? Now, when you were going faster, did you see what was going on with her? What did you see? Yeah, why?
Yeah. Probably just getting frustrated again.
Not frustrated this
Oh.
time. Stimulated.
Oh, okay.
So the faster speed was getting her excited. Okay.
Okay.
So in your case, in the beginning, because there's a lot of tapping and the power, she was great. And now it's like slow. We're testing the brain. So when you sped up, she was like, "What?" And then she jumped. You just tapped. But on most of that, except for this part here, when I said slow turn, she was able to match you. Then we picked up the pace and stuff. So you guys drive, right? What do you do before you stop? Yes. What do you do before you turn? Right. Because if you just hit the brakes, whoever's behind you is going to crash into you. And if you're going too fast and you just turn, you're going to flip your car. Right? So think of the same thing for Dinah. It's her job to pay attention to you. It's your job to convey what you're doing. Okay? So I know you guys are both naturally fast walkers. I'm going to have you, let's say, like dial it down like 25%. Okay? If you see Dinah struggling with the pace, slow down a bit more. Now, I have a few other clients that are just naturally fast walkers, and the one thing that they always forget is slowing down for the turn. So when I have them slow down already, it already puts them in that mindset of I have to slow down for my dog, that they remember to slow down when they're going to stop and when they're going to turn. Okay? So for this week, when you're walking with Dinah, if she's doing great and at your side, you would just keep going. You wouldn't be doing all this craziness. Okay? You would only turn when she would pass you. Okay, but as long as she's at that right shoulder to the left leg, you can keep going straight for an entire mile. Okay, so when you're walking, if there's a red light and we're going to come to a stop, we would want to do what? Slow down. At least 3 steps. More is fine. The more you take for Dinah, the better. Okay, and then you come to that stop. If she's being mindful, it should be like this. We're right next to each other, no tension. Light turns green, we start walking. She doesn't move like that. There she is. Okay. If you're going to make a turn in any direction, you want to slow down. If she's paying attention, she slows down as well. You do your turn. If she's not paying attention, we get this. What does that tell us? Yes, right? Because you did your job. So it's like if you're driving, if you slow down and hit the brakes appropriately, the person behind you crashes into you. It's like, hey, I pump my brakes and I slow down. Oh, sorry, I was on my phone. Right? You did your job, they were distracted. Same thing for Dinah here, okay? So your job is to keep her focused by turning and tapping when she loses focus, but also to convey what you're doing by changing that speed and slowing down for her to catch on, okay?
If we walk, one of her things she's learned is that we come to a stop at a crosswalk and she knows to sit and the command we use is wait. So most of the time now she'll just do it if we stop. But is all that's fine to keep integrated into all this?
It's good. It's all built into the heel. So what you should start to see as you practice is you're going to be approaching those curves and stuff. She's going to be like this with no words. It's just default of move.
Yeah, she's gotten to that point before. We used weight a little bit the other day, but anyway, I just want to make sure we weren't undoing anything.
No. You're perfectly fine. Yeah. People tend to use words more often than they need to for everything. Like I've had trainers say left and right and all this stuff, right? Like all these cues, and the dog still didn't know what the hell was going on. I say heel, and everything is through body language or pressure, and they pick it up just fine. Okay. Other questions? Okay. So your homework for this week, this exercise. Okay. If you could do smaller chunks, that's better. Remember to find that working level. Always first before you get started, let her get her business out, get that done, then do the next steps, and then start your walk. If you have a dog, unfortunately. For any reactivity stuff, if we see that, for now I'm going to have you avoid it, okay, or ignore it. Do tapping. Yep. Pull to your left. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have you avoid it for now. I just want to see what's going on. If anything, step aside and shorten your leash and let it happen. Okay? Because I don't want to overload you with information. We're gonna see what this fixes. Like this, just 1 week of just discipline, formal healing stuff. Then when we come back week 2, we'll kind of get a quick recap, and from there, that kind of dictates how we move forward. Okay? Other questions?
No, I'm sure I'll have some.
Sure. I'll get you that email. Okay. We have a couple more visits to do. If you don't get anything from me within the day, good. Maria should have sent you an email. It's the same as hers. It's just Jessie, JESSE@com. And then I'll get those to you. I may forget by the time I get home.
The what?
Email. Just there's a few videos I'm going to email you guys to review to help you just kind of connect the dots a bit more on the e-collar fitting and all that stuff. Okay. I usually send it prior, but I think this morning you're just confirmed, and I got up and left for my business. But I'll get those to you. Otherwise, she did really well. She's nice and relaxed. She's not anxious or anything like that. She's taking to the training like we want. So if anything pops up, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you in a week. Okay? All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Take care.